Hi, I'm Joni Patry, and welcome to my YouTube channel. Well, today I'm going to talk about the second week in July. So we're going to be covering July 8th through the 14th, and I'm going to be giving you the lowdown of where all the planets are evolving in the sky, and mainly focalizing everything through the transit of the moon. Remember, the moon, as it goes through all the different signs and goes through all its different phases, is really the determinant of how we are feeling from day in to day out. Now, the bigger transits I'm going to point out too, that will have major effects on us. But the moon is really our daily activity that we need to know where we stand so we can make better plans according to the stars. So let's start with July 8th, and we're going to dig in here as the moon is in Cancer. One of the favorite places for the moon to be. It rules Cancer, so the moon is strong. People are feeling intensely with the moon being in Cancer. It just crossed over Mercury yesterday, but today it still sits with both Mercury and Venus in the same sign. So it's quite a pleasant day. We have pleasant feelings about people around us. Communications are great, but the moon sits in the nakshatra called Aslesha. And Aslesha is a very powerful nakshatra. It's very powerful for business and getting things done. And really, the reason why it is so good with business is because people that have this moon in their natal chart are so convincing. They're incredible salespeople. They can talk you into anything. So this is a good day to use for a business matter, to talk people into things that you want them to do. But of course you want only for their highest good, I hope. But still, the moon here is extraordinary and powerful. But of course, the Aslesha symbol is a snake. So be aware of tricksters and tricky people that try to pull the wool over your eyes. With you knowing this, it won't happen to you today, right? So looking at this, Jupiter is still in the 11th house from the moon while it sits in Cancer. And that's a great time to go out, be with friends, socialize. Don't miss any parties or social gatherings because you never know who you're going to meet. You might meet someone very influential that can help you out tremendously. So use this to your best advantage. But towards the late evening, we're going to have the moon shift into Leo, and by the time of July 9th, the moon will be in Leo. So let's talk about the 9th. While the moon enters into Leo by the early hours of July 9th, and also we still have Mercury in Cancer with Venus, but it's casting a perfect trine to Rahu. So this is a day of intense communications, of really feeling so passionate and emotional about what you have to say and do. This is so important. This is where you are connecting to people through how you're feeling. But most of all, don't forget, Mercury deals with communications. So while it's in this aspect to Rahu, you can get your point across and you can feel what others are feeling. And that makes you much more sensitive. Now, the moon is in the nakshatra called Magha. Magha symbol is a throne or the king. So this is an important day for leadership, to go out and be proud of what you're doing and not do it half-assed. Be open, be strong, be confident. This is a day for confidence. And if you'll notice, Jupiter goes to the 10th house from the moon. Remember, I'm always counting from the moon. So if you go 10 placements from the moon, then you know that it's a great day for business, work, career, promotions, Opportunities through your work, you've got it today, and this is wonderful. Now, I do notice, though, that Jupiter is almost 16 degrees today, which 15, 16 degrees is conjunct the fixed star Aldebaran, which is the red eye of the bull. So there's some really intense energy. And because the opposing Aldebaran exactly is the fixed star Antares in Scorpio, which is the star of war. The fact that Jupiter is here can bring things up relative to war. And I think that this month things are going to really heat up. We're going to see a lot more violence. This is a little bit of the calm before the storm, so take it easy, relax while you can. So be aware, though, things are really starting to happen. Now, also on this day, remember that because Maga rules leaders, there can be a lot that comes out about world leaders and the progression towards a more violent world. So let me move up to July 10th. Now the moon is still in Leo, but it's shifted into the nakshatra called Purva Falguni. And this is the most expressive, creative nakshatra of all. And while Jupiter sits 10th from the moon, this can also be a wonderful day for opportunities with work and career. And the moon is much more pleasant in this nakshatra. I often call this nakshatra the party nakshatra because it needs to be with people and social events, expressing its feelings and emotions. Beautiful time. And really, if you consider the fact that Saturn is opposing the moon later on in this day, that this can be a time of serious attention and focus towards what you want to create and manifest. Yes, so the sun on this day is going to be trine Saturn. So with the sun trine Saturn, there needs to be something about finding grounding and finding your sense of security. Security is what Saturn's about, and this is a time to feel more grounded and know that even though the world is full of chaos and fear, it's time for you to find your place that makes you feel good, ground yourself, and give yourself that security that you need. So now I'm looking at July 11th. And this is the day that the moon will go into Virgo. And you know, I learned something really interesting about the sign Virgo, that this portion of the zodiac is where intense psychic ability comes out of. As a matter of fact, this is the symbol of the Virgin, Virgo, and they say that remote viewers become much more accurate and in tune with their psychic powers when the planets are in the sign of Virgo. So the main reason why I'm saying this, though, is that the moon is coming together with Ketu, and Ketu is otherworldliness, meaning psychic ability. Now, the moon is opposing Neptune at this time. People will be unrealistic. They'll be a little bit out of their minds today, not being in touch with reality. But it's a great day for you to be more creative. Neptune deals with beyond this world, creative ideas that think outside the box. Now, the moon today will be in the nakshatra called Uttara Falguni, and Uttara Falguni is actually a nakshatra that deals with friendship. So coming together with friends and people you know well, that you can really communicate on a deep core level, talk about your intuition, your feelings. This is a great day for that. But remember this, with Neptune's aspect to the moon, there may be a little bit of unrealistic attitudes. It's a great day to go to the movies, to read a fantasy book, because you will be a little bit in another world during this time. Use your psychic ability. You will have it more than any other time while the moon transits through the sign of Virgo. Now, also on the 10th, on the 11th, Venus will be in a trine to Neptune. And while Neptune can deal with the dreamy, fanatical fantasy, it's like out there, it's a time of spiritual love. But make sure you know what you're doing, because sometimes one thing may lead to another, and you might be unrealistic about love on this day, but it is a good day to express your love and be creative. Now, the next day, we have the moon aligning with K2. This is July 12th. The moon aligns with K2, and it will be in the nakshatra called Hasta, which symbol is the hand. Hasta means to grab on and hold on to things, to be in touch with things. It is very intense. Hasta is ruled by the moon. So there is some deep, deep inner knowing on this day. This is a day of deep awareness. Now also, on this day, wow, the moon moves into Taurus. And this is the placement that really scares me about the future. Now, Mars going into Taurus means it's coming together with Uranus. Uranus is sudden, unexpected events. Mars rules violence, war, fire, weapons, explosive events. Uranus rules the unexpected, and it's even with Jupiter. Big events are due to happen. I cannot express to you how dangerous this is for the rest of the week following this. And as I say, Uranus is expect the unexpected. There can be such violence that breaks out. And of course, the whole time that Mars is in Taurus, expect earthquakes. And this is the start of it. So this is a time of great violence and detrimental things. And Uranus sits at 2 degrees of Taurus. And 3 degrees of Taurus is conjunct the fixed star Algol, which is the demonic star. And it deals with decapitation. And what that can actually mean is that people really lose their minds. They lose their heads. They will go crazy. And this means great violence. This is in the Pleiades. This is where the weeping sisters sit. And of course, the weeping sisters pertain to being falsely accused by their husbands of betraying them, they were not. It was it's a rough patch of the zodiac. Let me just say this. This is telling us something incredible is about to blow up and happen. Let me just put it bluntly. So, looking at moving forward and the moon being in Hasta, this is intense. Moon with K2 means loss. K2 is major losses. So get ready. The loss is about to happen. And before I go anywhere else with this, I forgot to mention to you about my newsletter. If you want all of this written out in detail, go to my website, galacticcenter.org, sign up for my free newsletter, and you'll have all of my writings as well on all of this. Now, I'm also creating a galactic planner. You'll want this. If you enjoy hearing what the planets are doing day in to day out, you're going to love how it affects your personal chart. The galactic planner will do this for you using your birth data. And it will be put into your calendar, and the first month is free. Go sign up for it. We're testing it right now. The minute it's finished, we'll give you a free month and see how you like it. Last but not least, I'm starting my school this summer. So go to universityofvedicastrology.com and also Remember that Patreon, you'll get more information in my spiritual group on Patreon than any of this can give you. So there's a lot going on here. I just want you to know. I didn't want you to miss out on the opportunities that I have going. So continuing on, let's now go to, as I said, Mars entering Taurus is the beginning. But let's go to July 13th. And July 13th is going to be very intense because on this day, the moon moves into Chitra. It's still in Virgo, though, for almost all of the day. And Virgo is a sign that deals particularly with perfectionism and things that must be perfect. So shy away from being so critical of other people the whole time the moon is in Virgo. But Chitra is the bright and shining one, but it is ruled by Mars. And as Mars starts to get closer to Uranus, there can be some outbreaks of war and violence like never before. So let me move forward to July 14th. July 14th, the moon will be in Libra. And as it's in Libra, it will move into the nakshatra called Swati. And Swati is the nakshatra of communications and business and deals a lot with business ideas in people. So the moon here in Venus's sign actually does a dance with Venus, because while Venus is in Cancer, the moon is in Libra, and this means the moon's in what we call a mutual exchange of signs, a parivartana yoga, because the moon is in Libra, ruled by Venus, while Venus is in Cancer, ruled by the moon. So this empowers these two planets remarkably. Venus becomes strong. Venus and Mercury now sit in the 10th house from the moon. This is a fantastic day for business and getting things done, getting your boss to see it your way. Or maybe you will have an opportunity to become the boss. Go for it. Today is a good day for communications, going with the flow of things and making things happen your way, especially around work and career. There's great opportunities. Now, Mars and Jupiter have now moved into the 8th house from the moon. The 8th house can deal with treacherous things such as loss of lives, death, betrayal, corruption. All of these things become more out in the open and very obvious as to the trends of where the world is going. Mars is closing in on Uranus, so sudden, unexpected events are due to happen. And remember what I keep saying, this whole month of July, we are looking at serious events, especially around earth changes and earthquakes. Big time. California is going to have some serious quakes this month. Go to my video on when and where earthquakes are going to be happening. I went into some explicit astrological work there. And you know what really makes me mad? When people say, don't tell me the astrology, just give me the information. Do you realize that anyone can learn this magnificent, powerful subject? And that's what I'm trying to help you guys learn, astrology. You can do it for yourself. And with astrology, you have the power in your hands to know things. And I love teaching this divine science, so I hope people will never say that again, because, I mean, it's a lot of work to put those classes together, and the fact that people don't appreciate it is really something else. So I'm not going to stop teaching astrology to you guys. So let's move on to July 15th. Now, the moon is still in Libra, and it is still in Swati, but it is about to leave Swati and move into, by the midday, about right after 2 p.m. Central Standard Time, the moon moves into the nakshatra Vishaka. And yes, Vishaka does mean victorious. I know somebody said, I thought that that was another nakshatra. Its symbol is a triumphal arch, which means victorious and strength and power. This is a very powerful nakshatra for achievement. But I will say Jupiter and Mars are 8th from the moon. And yes, on the 15th, July 15th, we have a lot going on. I've got to talk to you about this. So I am extending this to, I know I said I was going to talk only about July to the 14th, but I'm extending this to the 15th because it is a day where things are really going to explode. So I guess what I'm going to do is I'm preparing you for the very next week, which will start on July 15th. And from there, I'm going to take you to the 21st. But this is going to be the most powerfully violent time, I think, of the whole month. So get ready. Make sure you watch my 3rd week of July, starting with July 15th. I wanted to just bring this up to you that the 15th is really the day because Uranus will conjunct Mars. So with that, I think I'll close for this week and I'll begin with the Mars-Uranus conjunction on the 15th, starting from July 15th, taking you to the 21st. So don't miss that. And remember, if you want to learn more about me, about my work, get a reading, go to my website, galacticcenter.org. While you're there, don't forget to sign up for my free newsletter. Check out my Patreon page. Become a member of a spiritual community. You'll love it. So with that, thank you. I'll close now.